There's a lot more to the history of Thanksgiving than what I will read here today. The funny thing about history is that you often have to read many different authors and perspectives to find out what really happened. Be sure to ask an adult what they know about the history of Thanksgiving. The first Thanksgiving. Long, long ago, nearly 100 men, women, and children left the southern shore of England aboard the tiny Mayflower, bound for the northern coast of Virginia and packed high with food, water, furniture, equipment, and farm animals. The ship pulled out of port on September 16, 1620. It was a cold, damp, and very uncomfortable trip for the English voyagers. During their many weeks at sea, crossing a stormy and wind-tossed ocean, 2 babies were born and only one person died. On November 9th, when the weary travelers finally sighted what is now Cape Cod, they were very sick and malnourished. The long, rocky New England coastline did not appear to be Virginia, but the discouraged little group of people had lost both the desire and the strength to travel any further in their small ship. The leader of these cold, damp pilgrims was William Bradford, who wrote that when they arrived, they fell on their knees and blessed the God of heaven who had brought them over the vast and furious ocean. But yet another 4 weeks passed before Captain Christopher Jones could get his overcrowded ship close enough for an exploration party to venture ashore. The first exploring party found what would later be known as Plymouth Harbor, and they also noticed a small piece of cleared land, most possibly an abandoned cornfield. But it was too late in the season to build homes, plant crops, or even gather much food from the forest. So the group prepared as best they could and spent the winter aboard their ship. That winter proved very mild for the New England area, but by the spring, almost half of those who had arrived on the Mayflower had died. The survivors returned to the small plot of cleared land along the harbor and began to construct their simple village. They named their new home Plymouth and built it upon the lands of the Wampanoag tribe. The Native American leader was Massasoit, and his dominion included the Cape Cod area and all of what is now Rhode Island. When Chief Massasoit visited the Pilgrims during the early spring of 1621, he signed a treaty of peace with them. Then he and his people helped the tiny band of newcomers learn how to fish, hunt, and plant crops. At the end of the Pilgrims' first summer, their harvests had been rich and their storehouses were full, so they invited Massasoit and 90 of his braves to attend a feast in thanksgiving for such bounty. This first Thanksgiving in New England lasted for 3 days, and during the festivities, Pilgrim males and Native American braves held sporting events such as races and shooting contests. The long celebration was held outdoors, and the participants ate at tables made of boards placed over wooden sawhorses. Their main dish was deer or venison, a gift from the Pilgrims' native friends. Cooking in outdoor ovens and on spits over large fires, they prepared a variety of seafood such as lobster, cod, striped bass, and clams. Duck and goose were among the many foods prepared that autumn, and there were dishes of squash, corn, onions, beans, pumpkin, berries, bread, and butter as well. Today's Thanksgiving is more likely to feature a grocery-bought turkey than a freshly caught bass, and people tend to watch football games instead of shooting contests, yet the spirit of the holiday still remains the same. On this holiday, above all others, time is set aside to gather with those who are cherished and appreciated. Special foods are prepared with love and care, and thanks are offered for the many blessings received throughout the whole year.